digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Firstly, guys, welcome to THFC Till I Die, home of Tottenham past, present, and exciting future on the Thomas Frank as we gear up for the game at the weekend. Yes, we are away to Everton, and as we start another bit of our sort of very busy schedule. But also, can you do me a quick favour, lads, if you don't mind? I'm using a new mic, new camera, but a new mic, but I'm using a sound deck as well. So can you just make sure, let me know in the chat if the sound is coming through fine, there's no problems with the mic. So if you can let me know, I would be extremely grateful. Well, guys, this is where I look over the press conference when I go over what Thomas Frank had to say yesterday's press conference. Yes, it was supposed to be due out last night. I do apologise that it's coming out today. But seeing there's no match today, I thought I'd just give a bit of pre-match content today, guys. There is a predicted lineup video coming out as well for you. That will be coming at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning for you guys. And then, of course, then we're on a forward before the whistle, the watch along, and then match reaction afterwards as well. So we've got everything covered between now and the full-time whistle at the Hill Dickinson Stadium in Everton by tomorrow night. But guys, let me know what you think. What did you think of his press conference yesterday? I think some of the answers he gave left me a little bit, put my hand on my head thinking, what the hell, like? But we're going to go through it together. So it's your guys to get involved as well. Let me know what you think. And as we look through it. Right, so this is the press conference yesterday, guys. I'm going to go, hopefully, I'm going to make it full screen for you. There we go. So I'm just slightly covering Thomas Frank down. I'm sure he won't mind. And the first questions he was asked yesterday, well, can we get an update on Dominic Solanke, QT, and Destiny Udogie? He says QT has been out on the grass running with some of the performance guys, so positive progress in no time frame, but I don't expect it to be longer than one game. Destiny is not on the grass yet, but still progressing, so again, not a longer one. Dominic, positive, he's taking steps in the right direction. Every day was a grass again today on his own, but he has now a sustainable amount of pitch session with him on his own. And look, I think this is where the press conference, I think this is where not the press conference, the transfer window comes in and sort of bites us in the arse. Have we got a squad big enough to face with all these injuries? And it was the same criticism chucked at Ange last year. Players getting injured, it's all Ange's fault. It's all Ange's fault. It really wasn't Ange's fault. I think it's more the medical team's fault for not getting these players back. And we missed QT Romero so much on Wednesday. We missed his leadership, we missed his drive, we missed the way that he takes teams and takes them by the scruff of the neck and drags them along. But it's good to see that QT might be back for Newcastle. I think Destiny might be back for the game at the weekend against Chelsea. I think Newcastle might be a bit too soon for him. On Dominic Solanke, hopefully he's back for the Chelsea game as well. That would be a major boost for us all. Then it was going on. It said you'd not have had Kulu, Madison, or Solanke available. Son's left. Is it difficult to get an attacking rhythm with that in mind? Before I give you his answer, my view on this, right, and my sort of breakdown for what he did say every head coach, manager, of course, wants to play his fit. We get that when we complain about scoring, the score being too big, that leads to disappointing players. But in the way, I'd rather have that. It is what it is. You're right. I'm very rarely have said anything about injuries because it is what it is. I need to deal with it. It's my job to put the best possible available team on the pitch and get it hopefully clicking. Now, look, I want to start there, right? Obviously, it didn't work on Wednesday. Obviously, whatever he put out on Wednesday, it didn't work. It really didn't work. But it wasn't put right for the second half, and that's what's worrying me. Thomas Frank has been known to be an adaptable manager, um, and adapting and changing formations during games and doing this. And he hasn't done that. He hasn't changed formation during games. He hasn't tried to change the way the game was going. Now, is that because of the players that are injured and he looks on the bench? I haven't got the players to do what I want them to do. Well, then that's the same excuse that every other manager's had at Tottenham Hotspur over the last 20 odd years. But we can't blame Daniel Levy because he's no longer here. And it's down now to the Lewis family or the new board to go out in January to put some of it right and then really put it right next summer. I don't trust the Lewis family to do that. I don't trust them to back the manager. I don't trust them to put the money where the mouth is. I really don't. And I don't think they will either. I think it's going to be same old, same old. And it's not a case of, oh, it's Daniel Levy's fault. We know who the real problem is. Daniel Levy made plenty of mistakes at Tottenham, so he doesn't go away scot-free. And I don't think the Lewis family, no, they may prove me wrong, but January is going to be a very big indicator for me what we do in January and then what we're going to do next summer. And if you look at it, we are missing big players. Kulu's a big player for us. Madison's a big player for us. Solanke is the striker that probably will flourish under a Frank system, but we need another, striker to be up there. You can't trust Richarlison. You can't trust Hill because they're not the players that are going to get you the goals when you need them. And they've proven that this season. Clicking, of course, there are some of these, especially Kulu and Madison, proven players that have been proven this club for goals and assists and great things. So they would have been lovely to be available to use. But I think we have some very talented players. I'd love to know where, because the players that we've used in the forward line have not been good enough. That they really have not been good enough. I think some of them not even fit enough and good enough to lace Kulu's boots, some of them, because Kulu does bring you that something different. Madison, he may be running hot and cold, but he brings you that something different. Richie's had a good start. Richie's not had a good start to the season. He had one good game against Burnley, and everyone thought Richie's back. Yay! He's not back. What did he do Wednesday against Monaco? Absolutely bugger all. Didn't do nothing. Didn't do absolutely anything. And I look, they tried 10 up there. He's not working. It's just very frustrating. He says, I think we have some very talented players who are growing. Wilson, Odebear, Xavi, I think Mo has been very good for us as well. And I think Richie's had a good start to the season, trying to get up to the pace. The reality is that we're working very hard and getting the flow with the front four. and hopefully it'll be better bit by bit. I think it's fair to say I can't remember the amount of games we played, but we have definitely seen some good games, good spells, and where we have, yeah, against teams that we should be beating. If we come up against any decent team, we're going to struggle, and we proved that against Monaco. Yeah, we got a good result against Man City, but that's one game. When it come up to a really bad Wolves side, did we beat them? No. Did our front four work? No. When we come up against Brighton away, we were lucky to get away with the draw. First half, we were awful. Second half, we were better. And Xavi, that's the only game Xavi, right, that has really showed what a talent in is. The rest of it, he's really been struggling. And, I just don't understand why he's saying that. He's saying that. I could understand he's trying to big the players up and keep the confidence up. And if you slag a player off, yes, he's going to be, the player's probably going to lose a bit of faith in you as a manager. But be honest with us as well, because we can see what we know. We can see the games with our own eyes. There are some really tough games coming up. You have a real idea of the level of the squad after, or do you have a clearer idea now on what you need going forward? I think he knows what he wants going forward in January and next summer. But it's us as a club backing him on that. Do we get the players he wants? And this is the question mark I have the Lewis family. Will they back him? Will they go all out to get the players that he wants? Now, he says, I'm learning every day about the team and the players, the individuals. I see very willing group. They want to work hard to perform, to do their best for the team. And this is a wonderful club. I learned after a very competitive performance against Villa. I think, okay, there's something here. Very interesting. I know we lost, but the performance, that's what I need to look at all the time. I also learned on Wednesday night against Monaco, two examples. It's every day you can say it in a way. I can't remember the number of weeks we've been down. We were down the line, but there were more. But my focus is now on. Sorry, let me take the that off for you guys. Hang on, come off. Is on Everton, and I get it. It's on Everton. I get it. He's focusing on Everton. I understand that. Yeah, rightly so. It should be on Everton, but I think he should have a clearer understanding what he wants moving forward, and I think he has to. Big up to Nighttime Kid K4P. If you play like he says, we can win. Yeah, exactly. I think it's just coming out of the NBA. I think just like it is coming out of the NBA, it's is rigged. It will come out the Premier League is too. The past 3 seasons, the rules have been applied so differently, and VAR reviews some players and refuse to review others. Look, something I'm going to talk about tonight. I will. I will. That's something I'm not saying it's rigged, but I understand your frustration when it comes to VAR and it comes to decisions that are made. So I get your point. I don't think it's rigged though. I really don't think it is. We are supposed to be. If you have evidence or you have an example where you think that it proves what, not trying to prove what you're trying to say, but sort of backs up what you're trying to say, please put it in the chat. Let me know. Let me know, and I will. We'll talk about it. It's a talking point, isn't it? So yeah, let me know. Um, how close is Randu Colo Maroon Colo back? Sorry, the starting matches. He's definitely getting closer. I think now it's the first time he's okay to sustain a block of training. Also, some minutes. I think it's also fair to say that he's not there 100% physically, just to be bombarding him with 90-minute go again and again. But he's in a place where he can be used, and that's good news. I don't get with this signing, right? I really don't. I think the times that he has come on, he's offered us nothing. I understand that he didn't get much of a preseason in at PSG. I understand that he had a bit of a niggle as well, so he's injured, so he's not going to be fully firing on all cylinders. But I haven't seen nothing yet to prove to me that it was a good idea to go after him. I really don't, and I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he comes out and starts banging them in. But I was looking at him. I was watching the training last night, especially with Xavi, and he looks really sharp in training. Xavi, he just can't bring what he's doing in training onto the pitch. if he could bring what he's doing in training onto the pitch, then I think you see a completely different Xavi, and I think you probably see a different once he's fit and fully fit and fully raring to go. I think Colo will be the same. I think he will see the best of him, but at the moment, we're not seeing the best of him because he's not fully fit. Uh, so it's a tough one. He is on loan. He is a loanee, but was it the right loan? Should we have gone for Vlahovic? I think we should have gone for Vlahovic instead of Colo. But look, who am I? I'm just a football fan. Can I ask about Xavi and his time so far at Spurs? And I agree with this guy. I'm not going to really criticize this comment or actually divert away from it too much because I totally agree with it. I totally agree what he's saying here. Shabby's been with us 7 or 8 weeks, something like that, which is a very short time in football, but in a way also a long time. He's adapting every day. I like his personality, the way he played the first 60 minutes against Villa. I think tired a little bit. It's part of the learning coming into a much more intensive league. I think my demands and our demands to him is more intense in general. He's a player I believe in. I think he's got the pass and I think he's got the vision. He's just been out there. We've been training, and I think he trained very well. Hopefully, he will improve step by step. And I agree with that. You see him in training; he does train well and he does train hard. Now, is he there yet physically for the Premier League? No, he doesn't. I think he needs to bulk himself up a little bit and get used to the physicality of the Premier League. And he will get there. I think he's got the talent. I think he's got the ability. I think he's got the determination to make it. And I think he will be a world class player and a great player for Tottenham in the Premier League. I think we just need to give him time. And that's the thing, giving him time. We can't we're as a fan base, we can be quite critical of players when they don't perform or they don't put in the right levels of performance. And we can be critical, me included. I can be very critical of some players. So I think it's only natural that we are, but I think he will come good, and Xavi will prove a lot of doubters wrong. But he hasn't had a great start to his Spurs career. But many other players that have come to us from overseas didn't start well, and they end up becoming legends of the club or heroes of the club. So we have to see what happens. But Xavi will come good. I am definitely so confident of saying that. He was asked about Papa Sarr, started the first 6 games of the season and was really good since then. He started only one. Is he fit? Thomas Frank, yeah, there's nothing wrong with him. He started the first 6 games. I think he was very good player for us. I think we rested him maybe as a minor precaution. It's just competition. Other players have done well. Decisions for me, but in general, I'm happy with Pepe. He said that before. He was one of the players that impressed me most in the beginning of the season. He's a very good player. And we've really missed Papa Sarr in that midfield, in that sort of 10 role where he did start extremely well. He was creating more, he was scoring goals, he was in and around the box, he was doing the job, and he's got the engine to be a box to box midfielder. He really does. We don't see many box to box midfielders these days, and I think he's a throwback to the games in years gone by where you had that midfielder, probably a bit like a Roy Keane or a Brian Robson. I'm not saying they're like them physical sort of friend, but if you look at them, they were box to box midfielders, had big engines in them. They could run up and down the pitch all game. Papa Sarr's the same for me. Um, and I like Papa Sarr. I think out of all the midfielders, I think he's the one that's improved the most between this last season and this season. I'm really pleased with him because I think he's a really good footballer and he's a really good player for us. Should Frank be using him more? I think so, but it is a long season and it's a case of burnout as well. So where I understand he's using him, I think there was a lot of speculation. Does he like him? Does he fancy him? Does he rate him? Um, I think he's put that question to bed in his answer. If you read between the lines, I think he has put that to bed. Should Sarr start on Sunday? Hell yeah, he should start on Sunday. There's no question in my mind he should start on Sunday. And I think he will give enough competitiveness and enough creation in that midfield, in that 10 role to give the strikers something to work with. Then he's not just relying on a Kudos or a Xavi. Papa Sarr can come in there and help as well. So I think I think he has to start on Sunday, definitely. But let me know in the comments or the chat if you agree or disagree. Big up to Spurs TV. I'm a bit nervous. Frank said we played well last match. Well, we have to wait and see, don't we? Yeah, this is the point. I think you're getting at Spurs TV, and I must admit, this is the one question that I went, "What? Are you serious? What have you been watching?" To be fair, um, you've been very good since you came here. Do you think those elements of performances are on track and with what you expect at this point? And he went on to say, I think we look at the performance in the games we've played so far, 13, I think, and there's been one bad game against Bournemouth. No, second half again, yeah. And he says there's been bad second halves against Wolves and bad second half against Monaco. What about Bodo? What about Brighton in the first half? What about um, Burnley? We were a bit sluggish against Burnley in the first day of the season. I think the only complete game where we played start to finish was away to Man City. Every other game there's been struggling. There's been a struggle in it. So it goes to Monaco. I think the rest have been good or good plus or very good. When I talk that, I'm not just talking about everything in free floating, but I just think your role you have how you have how you're competitive in the game. You're on aggressive, you play with intensity, you try to get the chances, play behind them all. And that's so I think that's the way you build a culture in the team. Look, I disagree with that answer completely because against Monaco there was no intensity. There was no fight for the badge. There was no players putting it in there. If one or two players had actually start putting up their intensity, I think it would have rubbed off on the whole team. But there wasn't, and I just don't get. There's been more bad games than good this season, so I really do not know what Thomas Frank is watching. But guys, that was the press conference. Let me know what you thought. Look, I get it. There's some good answers in there, but there's some answers in there very, very sort of mystical. Well, not even mystical, it's mystery. Like, why is he answering that? I think the last one as well. There's been more bad games, I think, this season than good. There's one or two good games, but I think majority of them are we haven't played well the first half, and then we've come out the second half and played well, or we played well the first half and come out the second half and didn't do well. You look at Villa, we sat back on a 1-0 lead straight away. You look away to Monaco, we were set up for the draw. I think Thomas Frank was happy to get the point out of there. I'm not. I want 3 points. There was a chance to get into the top eight, the Champions League, into the playoff place. So, we've had opportunities to really push on and put the pressure on up there and also kickstart our season, and we haven't taken them. And that's the same old story time and time again. But guys, that is it. That is after the presser. That is the pre-match press conference breakdown. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm back tonight live at 8 with pre-game thoughts against Everton. We'll go over all the all the stats, all the look ahead to the game, my thoughts on it, where I think how we're gonna win, how we're gonna lose. So join me at 8 tonight. I think Tequila might be joining me for that one, so please do join us. Then the predicted lineup be out by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and also there's a new content coming out, new video coming, rolling back the years as I go through the history of Everton, but Tottenham versus Everton's history, post Premier League, before the Premier League, and then little bits and pieces that I found during my research. But guys, thank you all for watching. I am back at 8 tonight. Come on, you Spurs. In Thomas Frank we trust. We never stop. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's get the 3K as soon as we can. Come on, you Spurs.